We are here in International Convention Center. Today is the media day for the opening of 41st annual Jalsa Salana. This is the event when Ahmadiyya community from around the world get together. This year they are going to discuss about the global peaceful coexistence along with the responsibility of media, and of course they are going to discuss about the youth and their responsibilities as we see the most organized volunteer youth involved into these kind of events.
We are trying to contact every community in Canada, particularly those who have misunderstandings about us. We have approached the other Muslim communities, non-Muslim communities, but the response we have got from the majority of the Muslim factions is very positive. They work with us, they join our events and we join their events. And we have offered them, let us have any good initiative and you would find us with you. The Holy Quran asks us to cooperate in all matters of goodness. And this is an open invitation to all communities in Canada, whether they're Muslims or non-Muslims, that get us any good initiative and we would be with you. Unfortunately, there are some people who consider us as their enemies. While we are taught in Islam that we hate no one, and this is what our slogan says, love for all and hatred for none. We only hate evil actions, not the evil people. We have mercy for them and we want to work with them so that they become good people. So as far as our efforts are concerned, we are continuing. And we would continue, inshallah, in future also, to win hatred with love. The strategy Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat is following is to take away the foundation under ISIS. They claim to be Muslims. And we declare to the whole world that what ISIS is doing has nothing to do with Islam. We explain their actions. They have done this. They have killed innocents. They have killed women, defenseless people. They have not shown even scant mercy for those who are in need of help. This is not Islam. So they may be claiming Islam as their ideology for their vested interests to promote their agenda. But this is not Islam. So if the world knows that what they are doing is not Islam, that would take away the very foundation on which they want to build their philosophy. And also the youth who are being attracted by them, if these youth can be made to believe that the way ISIS is operating, it is against Islam, it has nothing to do with Islam, they would find less and less willing youth to join them. This is what our spiritual leader, Hazrat Mirza Masrur Ahmad, may Allah be his helper, is doing, traveling around the world, meeting seats of power and letting them know what Islam is and what ISIS is doing is not at all, and nothing to do with Islam. And he is condemning the action by ISIS and similar other groups in the strongest possible terms.
We have been engaged in outreach efforts for, you can say, decades, going back to the founding of our community, at which time the concept of a holy jihad, a war with the infidel West, was becoming popular notions among some groups of Muslims. And the founder of the community, he wrote books specifically to Western nations. In one case, into England, the Queen of England was addressed that this concept goes against the basic human values of humanity and compassion for all. Now, going forward into these nations where we have now established ourselves, we continue this outreach and dialogue, not just with Muslims, with all segments of society. So we've had the head of our community address in the European Parliament, here in Canadian Parliament, in the US Capitol. And we have followed up with conferences every single year, peace conferences on this topic, where anyone who, as we mentioned earlier, is willing to voice the same concept of universality, respect, love, and collaboration and cooperation for improving society on the whole. We've worked with them. So we've worked with Muslim groups who are willing to do this, and non-Muslim groups and civic organizations, political groups across the whole spectrum. We've been doing this for a number of years, especially since 9/11 in the US and Canada and all the Western nations. So if you would see the annual peace conferences and outreach programs, I think 2 years ago they started here in Canada, what was called the Crisis of ISIS. And there were a number of efforts targeted toward the youth because the ones who are being radicalized are not the elder people to go to the wars and fight. It's the young people. So we have been using our young people to address the youth in social media platforms and other platforms to address the concept of what is Islam, as said. What we found is they're very illiterate with the basics of faith, so therefore they are easily swayed by the emotional appeal of a group like ISIS. But once you provide them the literacy of what is Islam, what does Islam teach, then they're less prone to adopt this course and leave their countries and become radicalized agents for these groups. So in short, we have been working across the board, across the spectrum of all faith groups and civic groups with this outreach effort to educate Muslim and non-Muslim alike, and we'll keep doing so. Thank you very much.
This is our 41st annual conference, and we are expecting around 20,000 guests from across Canada, from USA, and from overseas countries also. The most important message we are trying to propagate through all our events, and particularly through our annual conference, is that the world is going through very difficult times. A very small section of Muslims have taken law into their own hands and have used Islam as smokescreen to forward their nefarious designs. And they are claiming they are doing this in the name of Islam, while whatever they are doing has nothing to do with Islam. Our message to the world is, look at Islam as it is found in the Holy Quran, as it is found in the life of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and as it is found in 99% Muslims in their lives, in their beliefs, in their dealings with the outside world. Don't look at only the small minority, and look at Islam as represented by them.
This was an institution started over 100 years ago by the founder of our community, whose stated mission was to revive the true teachings of Islam. Everything he did, whether it was to establishing prayer or any ritual of Islam, or to establish the understanding of the philosophy, the different principles of Islam, was about helping humanity to better recognize the Creator and to recognize the rights of each other. It is a spiritual movement. So we're learning how to better love God and love each other. That's the essence of the message. And so you come here from all walks of life, all different places. We're here in this conference, from not just Canada, from around the world. And it builds the brotherhood and sisterhood of humankind, which is wonderful. That's the first thing. We are unified. We realize and recognize we're all in this world together, interconnected, interdependent, and need to learn how to live in harmony. And number two, we're trying to improve our moral and spiritual understanding of life, to become moral and spiritual beings with the best values possible. That's what we're trying to focus on and learn in these conferences when we come together. And we do this every single year around the world.
First of all, again, to thank TAG TV, and by the grace of Allah, you are representing, I think, almost all our program, especially the annual convention. The first message is the Quranic message, that is the observance of prayer, and inna salata tanha anil fahsha, that the only remedy to keep you protected from all nonsense, that is that you must be observing your 5 daily prayers. So it is again a message for the whole Muslimah that if we start observing our 5 daily prayers, definitely we can be a righteous and a pious person.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and Allah bless you.
We are outside International Convention Center. Here the flag ceremony was done by the Ahmadiyya to announce officially the opening of 3 days congregation.
So it is great to be here on this Jalsa. In my history, I've been living here since about approximately 22, 23 years in Canada, but I haven't missed this Jalsa ever. I believe that. Again, under divine guidance of Khilafat, I always think to be here is essential. Today, visiting from Saskatchewan to Ontario, I am not considering myself as a guest here. I'm considering myself, I'm a host here, and it is need to be essential to be the part of volunteer team and work in every available volunteer work